first one was one of the good ones.
Yep, so did I.
Welcome back to Would John Rather. Did you miss us?
Can I say that I did?
Yeah.
Do I count as people?
You don't count as people. You count as a person.
It's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
I thought it was fitting that we chose not to publish on that sellout day, International Podcast Day.
Right. Who decides this shit?
Not us.
Yeah, it's like I know that there are certain holidays that we all have to celebrate and all of that stuff. You know, Christmas and Halloween and Easter, whatever. I get those ones, but like we all celebrate International Talk Like a Pirate Day, the most holy of celebrations. But who decides these things? Like it was International Coffee Day yesterday, Podcast Day on Monday. I've only recently found out as well. I thought Pride Week was a week. Apparently, Pride Week just goes on forever.
Well, if it didn't go on forever, then you'd be classed as a homophobe. So,
but it's Pride Week.
Right.
The clue's in the title.
And Black History Month, I'm sure, should really last every day of the year, not just a month.
Oh yeah, no, don't make me out to sound like a racist homophobe now, John. That's not what I'm saying.
Whoa. I'm just picking up on what you're saying.
You're just picking up on my vibes.
It's not my fault. What you're saying makes you sound like a Klan member.
My issue isn't with what they're celebrating at all. Probably shouldn't say the word day.
What day of the year can you wear your pillowcase with eye holes and not be judged?
No, my point is, it says it's a week. So I just always assumed it was a week dedicated to it. But I saw all my friends on Facebook and they were celebrating in a different city every weekend. And I was like, there's only one weekend in a week. And I didn't understand. So I don't know why it's called Pride Week.
Trick question.
That's all. But anyway, back to the original point. Bro, but I'll put my shovel away. Who makes these decisions? There's just one person that goes, what could this day be? Because that'd be an amazing job.
What, deciding what days of the week?
Yeah. What
days of the year were special?
It's basically somebody in power somewhere is using our suggestion of the week and turning it into a holiday. And whatever they're into at that point, somebody probably just listened to a podcast and went, we'll have a podcast day. But every day is something.
What day is it National Juggalo Day?
Today.
Oh, fuck. I hadn't even got my face paint out.
Oh, no, sorry. It's International Jugglers Day today.
Oh, jugglers. Oh, yeah. That's fine. They could also wear face paint, depending on if they're a clown juggler or a normal juggler. Either.
And we know about your history with clowns.
Hey, either I wasn't touched, or I've mentally blocked it out so well that I don't even remember.
I think your parents tried to sell you to a circus, and your brain has just built up a wall and just suppressed it from you.
So let me to a circus is the kindest thing my parents ever did to me.
Or maybe they saved you.
Why did they hold out?
Maybe they saved you from a circus, and I think you need to have a stern word with your parents, in inverted commas, because you could have been in a family of acrobats, and maybe the original acrobats died, and you could have ended up becoming Robin. Yeah. You heard it here first, folks. John is actually part of the DC alternative universe, where instead of eventually becoming Nightwing or whatever Robin becomes, he turned into a bald father.
Should we sort of steer this train
Sorry, did you take umbrage with how I described you? It was factual.
No, I was going to get in a huge argument with you, like, just because I had unprotected sex once doesn't really classify me as what I am. I did it once and have proof of it. I've done it many other times, but I don't want to hear about that.
I don't often share things or doing anything on Facebook because I get myself in trouble enough by the things I say on this podcast. But I did share a picture that made me laugh earlier, which a lot of people have enjoyed. And it was, like those stock pictures, and then people have edited them. The first one was a picture of a woman holding it. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is. But it was a woman holding a chalkboard saying that because she's a mother, she should get to skip the queues in coffee shops. And someone had changed the second frame to be, why should you have privilege just because you let someone come inside you once? Fuck off.
Yep, I read that same one today.
Yep, I was like, yep.
Okay. Right. This podcast is about would you rather questions.
Is it?
So,
Shit,
well,
we've been doing it wrong for over a year.
okay. Would you rather be colourblind or asthmatic?
Asthmatic.
John, you still with us?
Yeah, I'd obviously much rather be colourblind. Did you know that colourblind isn't, generally speaking, obviously, doesn't tend to affect women, only tends to affect men.
Oh,
So-
there we go with our male privilege again.
By being colourblind, I would just be asserting my male dominance. It's like going out on a night out and thumping your chest and smashing a glass over someone's head. You could just be colourblind and you could achieve all of that.
John, it's been 35 seconds and my head is already in my hands. Oh my god.
Could you? So if only men get colourblind, I'm sure that's not true, but maybe it's more men than women or whatever. But if it's mostly men, could you imagine if you got one of those chauvinistic men who is trying to mansplain a colour chart to a woman and is completely wrong?
This is blue. This is all green.
Yeah.
No, that's red. No, it's not. It's definitely green. That's puce. No, it's definitely green. That's rose. No, it's definitely green.
And another thing, you'd think it was more women that were colourblind the way they drive. Huh? It's got to be difficult to drive when you're colourblind, though, on a serious note, because the two colours I understand that you have most difficulty with are red and green.
Yes, that's why they're at either end of the traffic.
Yeah, but what if you also had a condition? Because when you see things upside down and your brain corrects them to the right way up. So what if you also had a condition where that didn't work? So you'd be saying to everyone, the bottom one was green, but in actual fact, the top one was red, and they would think that you're just completely mad. Whereas, for me, being asthmatic, I wouldn't be allowed to smoke, so I'd have never started smoking, which I will give up at some point. I'm getting closer and closer. Now that I've hit 30, I've realised I've started to have existential crises where I need to look after myself a bit better. So I'd never have started smoking, and I already play Dungeons and Dragons and computer games, so I might as well have an inhaler.
Might as well have glasses as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And acne. Oh, no. We're stereotyping nerds. That's awful of you. Right, one of you is a sexist pig, and the other one of you is a stereotypist. You've got prejudice against library dwellers.
No. I have prejudice against everyone. We should rename this podcast not Would John Rather. It should be each week we insult a collective of new people until eventually we've isolated and alienated ourselves from every possible group on the planet.
Yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah. I think it's like anything, because I am a nerd. I'm allowed to insult nerds.
I think also being colourblind would be one of the better disabilities. In that
Right.
it would affect you, sure, and I do. My condolences go out to those who suffer from it, but as it goes, I think I'd rather just be mildly inconvenienced sometimes and have to go. Can you just confirm? Is that colour? What colour is this? Than not be able to walk upstairs without.
Asthmatic people can walk upstairs. Like, I think
how
you'll
bad
get.
their asthma is. Depends how bad their asthma is, doesn't it?
Depends how bad your colourblindness is.
Yeah, what if you
I
can't
might-
see any colours?
What if
How
it's all
bad does your
grayscale?
colourblindness have to be before that you're just blind?
I don't know. Ask Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, technically he was colourblind.
Technically still is, because he still is alive.
Should, ladies and gents, starting next week,
That's a myth.
we will produce you some insult bingo cards and just cross off as we insult groups of people. And it could be a little game you play at home.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories about people who are died, and people say that they aren't dead and they're just in hiding or whatever. But you don't get that many conspiracy theories that someone is actually dead and they're not.
What? That was a segue and a half.
Well, we're just talking about how Stevie Wonder's dead,
He's not.
and then, well, is he?
I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Well,
No.
maybe we're starting a conspiracy theory. I reckon he's not.
Google, sort me out. I type my number across.
Is Stevie Wonder dead?
Is Stevie Wonder dead?
Here's what I found on the web.
Nope. He was born in 1968. Doesn't say anything about how he died.
It's a conspiracy.
You're a conspiracy.
Anyway, back onto the topic. So Stevie Wonder's still alive. Well done, Stevie.
God bless Stevie.
There is a significantly higher chance that he's listening to our podcast than other celebrities we've insulted.
Not anymore.
What? Because he's died?
Nah, it's because we insulted him.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't insult him. We said he was blind. It's a fact. Or is it? Maybe that's a conspiracy theory.
Well, he's not really blind.
Yeah.
He's just doing it for the disability benefits.
Well, being blind and playing the piano is a lot more impressive than playing the piano.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you couldn't smell and could play the piano, I don't think that would be anything to write home about.
So, do you think there might be some benefit to being colourblind then?
Well, I'll tell you one disadvantage of being colourblind is even if you send away for it, they don't give you a blue badge.
Well, they might do. You can't tell.
No, you can't. you can't get good parking in shops for being colourblind.
I think he meant it might be green.
No, I was always quite jealous of the kids with inhalers. It was like we said before. Everyone wants to be special for some reason, and it was an accessory. When this podcast blows up, mostly because people start like downloading it just so they can burn it in churches and things. But that wasn't even meant to be a clever like burning a CD joke. But anyway, then I could like get diamond encrusted rims on my inhaler.
Why?
Why not?
Can't you now buy colour correcting glasses so people that can't see certain colours can now see them? I'm pretty sure that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen that, and that must be a nightmare. So you're colourblind, you go to see a 3D movie, you've got to put on your correcting glasses, and then you've got to put on your 3D glasses. And if
you're short-sighted, you've got to put on distance glasses.
Exactly. And if you're watching it in the sun, you've then got to put on sunglasses. And if you're doing it where they do those, like, you go to see 3D Jaws in a swimming pool, and you've got to put on goggles on top of that, it just sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd have to have a utility belt for all of your glasses, which, had John not been rescued from the circus, he could have had a utility belt.
Holy optical illusions, Batman.
And that would have helped because everyone knows that Batman has shark repellent back spray.
He does indeed. Okay, oh Christ, we've gone on about 9 different segues. We could open up a dealership here. I want a closing argument because I can't remember what the opening argument was.
I think the best thing about being colourblind would be...
Exactly. Tell me your
No, wait. You could finish Rubik's cubes or feel the satisfaction of completing one without actually having to complete it.
Name me your favourite colourblind person.
Mitch from work.
It's a little known fact that a lot of people who are colourblind feel victimised and aren't ready to come out as colourblind.
Good job, we've helped that then.
So, as a new colourblind person, I would make it my duty to make it more acceptable to be colourblind and help them to come out and teach other people that it's not okay to abuse people who are colourblind because it's a serious disability that
people that are
needs our
colourblind should
respect.
be advocates for fighting racism.
Do you want a very short list of people who are colourblind?
Go on.
Keanu Reeves, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Clinton, and that looks like a really bad picture of Clint Eastwood.
All men.
Oh, man. Well, my
All
favourite
men.
person with asthma is Stevie from Malcolm in the Middle.
God bless Stevie.
Did he die?
No,
Oh.
Malcolm in the Middle got cancelled, didn't it?
No, it finished. Because Malcolm was told that he was going to be president one day by his mum. It was a really good last episode. But anyway, when we were at school, one of the girls had asthma, and one of my friends would only refer to her as Stevie. It's not cool. John, stop us from insulting more people. Pick a winner.
Do the drawers match the drapes? I don't know. I'm colourblind.
On the fact of line that you can carry an inhaler with you, that's an easy fix. Unless you have these crazy colour correcting glasses that a newfangled and may or may not exist. I don't know. You could wear an outfit that's completely hideous, and people, I tend to find, are too polite to tell you until it's way too late to change. So, asthma for the win.
Yay?
Yay? Maybe.
Not. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not hay, because that would give you a reaction and you'd have to...
That's hay fever. That's allergies, John.
People who have asthma...
Isn't asthma just an allergy to air?
Maybe. I don't know.
If you have hay fever and asthma, that's a deadly combination. That was the point I was making.
Fair enough. Any suggestions of the week? Let's swiftly move on.
I'd like to suggest that councils get in the business of providing community umbrellas. You know, we don't... It seems like a strange idea to begin with, but when you think about it, councils provide all sorts of things like buses and bin disposal, things that you might need in your day-to-day life. Well, one thing that I needed this week was an umbrella. I got caught in horrendous rain downfall, and the council didn't help me at all.
So, like,
John, do you not own an umbrella? Do you not own an umbrella, John?
Well, it wasn't... No, I don't, but that's not the point.
So, like, Boris bikes, do you think they should have been like Blair's brollies?
Yeah, why not?
Fair enough.
They should just be on, like, street corners. You can rent them and put them back.
Do you know how much an umbrella from... Do you know how much a golfing umbrella from Sports Direct costs?
Like £5?
Yeah, £4, £5, something like that.
I don't want to have to carry it around all the time. I like to use the bus sometimes. It doesn't mean I want to own one.
But, I mean, true.
A bus is many, many pounds.
What if
you know when you're going to catch the bus, so therefore you use it when you need it. Oh, look, it looks really cloudy outside. I'll just take my brolly with me today. It's raining. I'll put it up.
I'm sure they exist.
Look, it's 35 degrees in the Sahara where I'm going on holiday. Should I take my brolly? Probably not.
No, you take your parasol.
I'd probably say you would. You probably would want some sort of protection from that sun.
One of my favourite bands tweeted something yesterday and said that condoms should have been called cumbrellas.
No, but that's like inside out. That's the opposite way it works.
But if you don't know how to put on a condom,
keeps it out.
Then that's your own fault.
But like, rain is kept on the outside, condoms keep jizz on the inside.
Well, I'm just going to put it out there.
Do they keep the vaginas on the outside?
Vaginas are gay. Keep them away.
Well, I just want to put it out there that if any of the political party leaders are listening to this, Boris, Jeremy, Joe...
As if any of those three are any use to this country right now, John.
Well,
maybe if they've introduced umbrellas, then they would be.
Yeah, if any one of them announces their official policy that they will support council-supplied umbrellas for hire...
They will get one vote.
Around where I live, I can guarantee I will vote for them.
We are heading into a shitstorm, and an umbrella would definitely help. I think if they don't exist, we should invent them. You know, you get like walking sticks with swords in the middle. It should be the same with umbrellas. So then it has a multiple use. You're much more likely to take a brolly out just in case if it's also got a sword in the centre.
This is not helping London knife crime.
It wouldn't be a knife. It'd be a sword.
It'd be one worse. It'd be after a sword, it's going to have to go up to like gun crime.
Maybe we'll just take
bring an umbrella to a knife fight. Oh, you don't bring a knife to a sword fight. You don't bring a sword to a gunfight. Come on, guys. And then it's going to eventually escalate into rocket launches, and then it's going to be North and South Korea nuking each other, and it's all your fault.
All because John wanted a sword. Bad,
Umbrella.
John. Umbrella, sword. What's the difference? John, this is the part where you say, would you rather have an umbrella or a sword?
I was just thinking that and thinking that this could end up really badly for knife crime across the UK.
Sword crime.
This is why it's really good to carry a knife on you at all times.
There are people who advocate that to stop shootings in schools, that teachers should be armed with guns.
Yeah, two wrongs make a right.
As we repeatedly say on this podcast.
And
that's my pledge for when I get into power, as we've already discussed. Swords for everyone.
Oh my god. It'll be like Middle Ages again.
Well, I think duels were quite respectful forms of combat, weren't they? It wasn't like chavvy knife crime. You would never stab someone who wasn't aware. They'd have to be up for the fight. And if they turn down the fight, well, that's just a shame on their family and on their reputation.
Maybe that's what they should do with the guns in the States. Like, everyone's allowed guns, not a problem, but firing them unless it's a pre-agreed pistols at dawn scenario, that's illegal.
Yeah.
There we go. We've solved gun and knife crime. John, ask us a question, quick.
Oh. Would you rather learn how to fence or shoot?
When you say fence, do you mean fight with a sword or build a fence?
I was going to ask the same question.
Or cause a fence?
Fencing, as in like the verb to use a foil or rapier in one-on-one combat, not do you fence?
I'd much rather fence.
Why? Because?
Why? Because there's so many things that you could use as a sword, and it's transferable skills. If you can fire a gun.
Are we going to hark back to long lengths of wood, or big length of wood?
No. Umbrella, check. Broom or rake, check. Quite a large novelty pen, check.
I've got a spirit level in front of me. That would probably do it.
Spirit level, check. A measuring tape that you've put out far enough, but not too far that it goes bendy, check. A meter rule when you're in school, check, and it rhymes, double check.
I've got one very simple argument for why I'd prefer to learn to shoot. And that is because waving around a ruler or a weird stick is lame. Shooting is badass.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to bring to your attention Star Wars, lightsabers versus blasters.
Okay, it's a well-known fact that none of the clones can shoot to save their lives.
Exactly.
If they had learnt to shoot better, then maybe they wouldn't have this problem. I'm just saying that, having a revolver, spinning it around and going, and then having some cool punchline as you shoot the brains out of someone.
So who would you model the style of what you're aiming for? Who would you model it after? Who would be your role model?
And follow-up question, who would you shoot first?
I think I would... my role model would be...
Matt, do you want to go first with your role model?
Probably D'Artagnan.
Okay. It's a very specific reference. I quite like it.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger.
In Terminator? In Jingle All the Way?
Governor of California.
In any of the films that he's shot a gun, he always looks badass doing it.
It's because he's like Mr. Universe. It doesn't matter what he did, he could flip pancakes and still look badass.
See, the correct answer to that question, John, was Rambo. But I'll forgive you.
The correct answer for you would have either been Leonardo or Zorro.
I mean, they're fairly up there with D'Artagnan.
I suppose D'Artagnan's the only one of the three musketeers I can name.
Exactly. But it looks so much cooler.
Does it?
Yeah.
You just have to put some dark shades on and say hasta la
Not show
vista.
emotion.
Yeah.
Just say stuff in an Austrian accent.
The problem is, with whatever gun you've got, you're going to run out of ammo eventually.
Sure.
Whereas...
What if what you're trying to kill or attack or displace is slightly out of reach?
Now to get a longer sword.
What if the sword becomes too heavy to carry because it's, I don't know, 200 meters away?
I wouldn't get into that situation because I'd be really good at sword fighting. More importantly, the sword that I'd have, do you know the sword that I'd pick? The singing sword from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
But then you could have the gun from Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the sleeping cowboy bullets. Damn. I just think the best example is in Indiana Jones. The guy looks absolutely awesome with his sword, and then Indy just shoots him. Who do you remember more, Indiana Jones or that guy?
Indiana Jones.
Nah, that guy.
That guy. No.
that
Do you
backfired.
know what happened? Do you know what happened at the set of the film? There was
They were meant to have a
supposed
sword
be
fight,
like
yeah.
10 minutes like sword fight, but Harrison Ford got dysentery and was really unwell, so they just went, just shoot him, and he was like, yeah, I can do that. So it's quicker and it's easier, and you don't have to kill huge Arabian men with your bare hands if you've got a pistol.
Yeah, and it's badass.
And it's badass.
On the note of guns, I think it depends on the scene, because there's a lot of amazing sword fighting scenes across the ages, Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean and things like that. But also, I did just finish watching John Wick 3, and the amount of people that got shot in the head was fantastic. Also, but it's not exactly a spoiler, but I did absolutely squeal with excitement because I've been trying to watch John Wick 3 for ages and finally watched it. There's a bit where Keanu Reeves or John Wick, basically someone says to him, what do you need? And he goes, guns, lots of guns, referring the end of the first Matrix film. And I was like, callback, Easter egg, amazing. And Lauren was like, why are you so giddy?
Okay, I think I can settle this. What is the best knife or gun quote you've heard of?
Knife to meet you. And also, I don't have a knife. I have a sword. At what point does a knife become a sword?
When it's all grown up and it's the man of the house? I don't know.
After it's been to its bar mitzvah.
I'm not a blade master, I don't know these things.
There is one argument left that I've got, and there is only one way that you make a gun better, and that's when you put a sword on the end of it.
A bayonet.
Exactly.
That is true. As good as guns are, they did improve the gun by putting a bayonet at the end of it, yeah.
Or did they improve the sword by putting a gun on it?
Well, no, because if I gave you a rifle with a bayonet on, you wouldn't say, look at my sword that also shoots bullets. You'd say, look at my gun that has a sword on the end.
Yeah, because people think that guns are cooler, and that's what they would want to highlight first.
And even better than any of that, swords naturally exist in nature and guns do not.
Archerfish.
That's not a gun, that's a bow and arrow. Swordfish.
All I'm saying is if someone bursts into a room full of excitement, you don't go, oh, they're coming in all swords blazing.
No, you could say they've come in all swords drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember who's arguing
nobody says
which,
that.
But I was hoping one of you referenced Parkway Drive. Guns for show, knives for pros.
Yeah, exactly.
All that does is reinforce my argument. Guns are badass.
No, guns for show, knives for a pro. I don't think you were listening.
Knives are for pros, like hitmen, who need to do it quietly, and guns are badass, and you show them off.
What gun would you pick, John?
Wrong.
Wrong. The answer is a cannon.
If you said anything other than 36mm howitzer, then you're wrong.
There's loads of badass guns.
There's
Name
loads
me
of badass
three.
swords.
Don't say the golden gun from that James Bond.
Sawn-off shotgun, Tommy gun, and sniper rifle.
Well, I've changed my mind. I do not want the singing sword from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I would have Anduril, Flame of the West, forged from the shards of Narsil.
That is such a geek reference. I might give you the win for that.
Yeah, the sword that was once broken. Who was it fixed by? Eladan and Elro here, Elrond's twin sons, that you see for a glimpse in the extended edition once.
Mate, okay, we get it. You don't go outside much. You don't have to lay on that thick.
No, I really panicked the other day because I was talking about Lord of the Rings to someone and I forgot pretty much everything I knew about it. I think I need to go back and revisit because the amount that I used to know compared to what I know now is really upsetting.
What if you read the book?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I need to go back and revisit the whole series of everything.
The written media and the visual media? All of
Yes. Yeah, at the same time.
it? Okay. So are you one apiece at the moment?
Well, I don't know because you haven't,
You haven't
said who's won.
yet.
But
Right,
I'm guessing.
Swords win. Swords are cool.
Oh, yeah. So that's 2-0.
Because even if you think back to like more recently, Game of Thrones, the sword, needle, Oathkeeper, and whatever Jon Snow's one is called with a wolf head on it. I can't think of any guns that have been named.
Mustang and Sally. Weren't they two famous revolvers?
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I'd name my sword Fuckbringer.
Good.
Okay.
Or
I believe
Clint.
that you two are a little bit more cultured than I am in the realms of food and drink.
You would be mistaken.
Okay, well, you know, right, just because your diet is pot noodle and Haribo.
I think you'll find for dinner I had ribs and smiley faces. Were the ribs good? No. But did they fill me up? Also no.
So that's why I had to have a side of smiley faces.
However, in case you
You
both
were
didn't,
in a restaurant.
in case you both didn't know, I did enjoy them more because I was watching the first episode of season 4 of The Good Place.
I haven't watched it yet. Please don't tell me about it.
I'm not going to. I was just reminding you in case you hadn't noticed it. It started again because I know you both like it.
There's
No,
only
just
one.
wait till there's like 3 or 4 episodes available and then binge watch like an hour's
Okay.
worth because they're only 20 minutes.
There's only one episode, as far as I'm aware. I had pierogi and sauerkraut for dinner.
I had a ready meal because my life is sad. Yeah, because you two are slightly more cultured than
When's the last
Red
time
or
either of
white?
you thought about Ready Brick?
I just now because you said it.
As you were.
But before that, I don't know.
Yeah? Because I can't remember the last time I thought about it until you popped that idea into my head. That was all.
What idea?
You said
Ready
ready,
meal.
and we were talking about food, and I just went, Ready Brick. Wow. To the point that I've now said it enough that I don't remember if it's real. It was a real thing, wasn't it? It was porridge. And did it have a dragon on the packet?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my suggestion of the week, folks. Ready Brick.
Okay, right, okay, because you two are slightly more cultured than I am. Red or white wine? What should I drink to be classy?
I'm going to go with red, but not for the reason you're thinking.
I don't have a reason I'm thinking.
I prefer to drink white, and I
I've
thought I
only
would.
seen you drink pink.
I drink white as well. I will have some red with red pairs better with a meaty dish normally, and I thought John would like the white because it generally pairs well with fish, and we know how he feels about fish. But more importantly, I would pick red wine because not to drink it, but so that I can use it in cooking. Make a nice red wine jus, add some to my mince when I'm making spag bowl or something like that. So that is what I would do with it.
There is no greater joy in life than sitting out in the sun, and as long as I've got some shade, and taking the cork out of a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. It's incomparable.
I've just got this vision of you next to a river holding a parasol, just drinking a nice glass of white,
Yeah, perfect.
getting elements of peach and hay. Whereas in my wine, I want elements of dirt and guns.
But we just discussed that swords are better than guns, so any redeeming flavours?
It's the colour of blood.
Red wine is generally considered, I will acknowledge, a bit more sophisticated, perhaps, but it's too heavy. Like I don't think I've ever drunk that much red wine before. I said that the wrong way round. Whenever I drink red wine, I just feel sluggish and like I've just inhaled lead or something. It's just
that might be the alcohol.
It might be, but white wine, it's just refreshing, and you get. It may not be as intense as a flavour, but there's other drinks for that.
Red wine.
It doesn't stain your teeth.
Less tannins in white wine.
Indeed. How many tannins are there in coffee, though?
7.
Drink a lot of that. Oh, 7. Okay.
Yeah, 7 tannin.
7 out of
17. I've just thought of something that I have to say out loud, but I'm definitely shooting myself in the foot. That's why swords are better. You never say you've stabbed yourself in the foot. But what do you use when you spill red wine to get rid of it? White wine. So white wine is clearly the superior wine.
Because it's a cleaning product.
Wait,
no.
You were arguing for red wine, Matt.
I know, but I just realised that I can't win because if you spill red wine, to get it out, you get white wine. If you spill white wine, to get it out, you don't spill red wine on it, you just cover it up with red wine.
So white wine is classy. I'm not planning on spilling it on myself. I've got a Luke that does that for me.
Our friend Luke, who will not pay more than £3.50 for a bottle of wine. If it comes in a carton, even better.
And it has to come from the Southern Hemisphere. No if, buts, or maybes.
The other thing about white wine is you can also have it celebrate things. You could have a bottle of sparkling white. You might call it champagne or prosecco or cava or whatever you fancy. English sparkling.
That's always pissed me off. Champagne we know has to come from the Champagne region in France. Cava from Spain. Prosecco from Italy. And what do we call it if it's from England? Sparkling wine.
Yeah, we need
our own name.
We need to work on our branding. That's definitely something that English sparkling needs.
Bottle of Croydon, mate.
Bottle of Croydon.
Bottle of Croydon.
Can't call it Croydon if it's not made in Croydon.
English sparkling is actually there are some really nice examples. I'm a big fan of Chapel Down. They
work on the brand.
I'm not a fan of Chapel Down.
Oh no, they have a lovely sparkling white. Have you ever had?
I was going to say with the sparkling wines, I don't like any sparkling wines. They're horrible. But I wasn't a fan of their regular wines either. So that's just a personal preference for me. But you can have sparkling red. I've got a soda stream.
It's bloody. I was going to say, have you ever had sparkling red? It's bloody weird and it's horrendous.
Is it like fizzy milk?
Yeah, it's just like fizzy milk.
It's not right.
Okay, I'm not planning on using wine to clean other wine or carbonate it if it's not meant to be carbonated. I don't drink wine. The only thing I know about wine
if we did that with everything else. Oh, I've spilled some bolognese sauce on me. How am I going to get this out? Bechamel sauce, that'll do. You don't fucking do it with anything else. Spilled some blackcurrant on me. What should we use? Oh, Sunny D, that'll get it out. Like, who discovered that?
I don't know whether it. I'm not even convinced that it works. I think that's just something that drunk people would do. Oh no! I spilled my red wine. What should we do? What should we do? I know. We'll pour the white wine on it.
I tell you what does work. If you spill ready breck on yourself, shredded wheat, use it as a scouring pad. Does the job. Perfect.
That's my suggestion of the week.
Your wife gets home and you're scrubbing the carpet with shredded wheat. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, no wives' tale. I heard it works. There's wheat everywhere. Shit, I can
Just
fix it. Watch this. And you just pour a bottle of white wine over it.
Well, Luke did that to me. He spilled red on me by accident by walking into me, and then he went, "I'll fix it." I said, "Don't worry about it." He came back and didn't tell me what he was doing and poured white wine down my arm without me knowing what was going on. So I had a very, very wet arm. And no red wine stain in the morning. You've gone very quiet. Okay. The other thing I know about wine is Catherine Ryan refers to white wine as day wine and red wine as night wine.
Yeah, I think it's just more socially acceptable to drink white wine whenever you feel like it. Whereas if you have a glass of red at breakfast, people look down on it. Go, oh,
And when you're pouring it into your shreddies, then they really ask if you're okay.
Yeah, whereas people have, if you had Prosecco with breakfast, no one would, well, I mean, if you're going to work, they might look twice, but, if you were on holiday, glass of Prosecco with breakfast,
Baileys in your Cocoa Pops, you're an alcoholic.
That's completely acceptable. Red wine in your Cocoa Pops, no.
But no, Bailey's on your Cocoa Pops is where it's at, boys. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure that would be delicious, but that's not what we're debating. But yeah, red wine is only really acceptable, I'd say in the evening, because that's when the lighting gets dimmer and it's acceptable to have stained lips.
I think
people can't see you as well.
Red wine's just a bit more sophisticated, isn't it? If you were going to have a posh evening, you'd probably think about red rather than white. The amount of women that, sorry to stereotype, but they'll come to the bar and they'll go, "Oh, I need to have a Chardonnay," because basically they had a Chardonnay once, decided that's the only wine they like, but then they're asked to have ice put in it. Means you don't only like Chardonnay, you don't really like wine. And then they top it off by putting lemonade in it as well. The colder white wine gets, the less you can taste it. So by chucking a load of ice and lemonade into it, you're basically just having an alcopop. But, of course, you can only have Chardonnay. So I only drink Grey Goose with my Coke. Yeah, that perfectly makes sense. This 25-year Lagavulin whiskey, yeah, I'll have that with a Coke as well. Of course you will, because you don't drink Famous Grouse because it's below you. Shut up, all of you.
If you know anybody who puts Coke in their Lagavulin, I'd like to see them shot.
And swashbuckled, just to keep on the gun sword thing.
Okay. At the moment, I'm towards white wine.
Wait.
Any time of the day. Convince me otherwise.
I was just going to say the last thing that we could discuss is fortified wines, so port and sherry. But
No.
But then I realised that I don't really like port or cheese, but I do like sherry because it tastes like raisins. Even though I don't like raisins, which is odd. So,
You're a man full of contradictions.
yes. Or and no.
All at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got this really weird conundrum where I do not have an alcohol problem, so I see it fit to enjoy alcohol whenever I damn well feel like it.
Is it bad? I'm slowly becoming an
alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm becoming a thirsty boy just talking about it. I had a couple of beverages last night while I played Goose Game and the New Zelda game, and slept all day because it's my day off, and didn't want a drink, but now that we've spoken about it so much, I quite fancy one.
For example, I can go weeks without feeling I want to drink, and there'll be one Saturday morning where I'll mow the grass. It'll be gloriously hot sunshine. I'll be like, I think it's beer time. I look at my watch and it's 10:30, and I go, fair enough, and just have a beer anyway because I can, because I know that I don't have a problem.
See, I
don't need it, but then I say to someone, "Oh, I mowed the grass and had a beer the other day," and then I explain a long list of other things I did, and they're like, "Well, hang on a minute, you must have had a beer really early in the day." I'm like, "Yeah, it was 10:30 in the morning," and they look at me like I'm some sort of heathen. So I don't know what's going on. I don't have a booze problem, so I drink when I want because I'm an adult. I can control it. I might even just have the one drink, and yet I get assumed that I've got a problem.
And what I'm saying is white wine is the drink for you, because as I've pointed out, you can have white wine at almost any time of day, whereas it's only acceptable to drink red wine at night.
Okay, champagne breakfast wins.
I was just, boom, 2-1, I'm happy with that. But I was just going to say, I think with the alcohol situation, I think it depends on A, how much you own it, and B, the preparation that goes into it. If you wake up in the morning and you go, I've got the day off, I'm going to have a beer, you're just grabbing a beer. It's fine. Like, you haven't got any plans, you don't have to do anything, like, fine. If you wake up at 7 in the morning and you set an alarm to mix a pitch of margaritas to drink by yourself, at home by yourself, no. If you've got your friends coming over early in the morning, 'cause you're about to have a day out and you mix a pitch of margaritas, then that is acceptable.
So I'm assuming you two have heard of Dutch courage.
Yes.
Have you heard of a Dutch cookout?
No?
A Dutch cookout is where you invite people over, and as the host, you get hammered before your guests.
Oh.
That's a Dutch cookout.
So every time you guys came around my flat?
Yes, you had a Dutch cookout with us.
I love that there's all these foreign you've got Dutch courage, Dutch cookout, the Irish goodbye, all these things to, explain what things are when you drink. And we just call it drinking. As British citizens, it's just, yeah.
I'm sure that like other countries have got doing the British there, which is not drinking anything Monday through to Thursday, getting blackout drunk Friday and Saturday nights, and then feeling like you want to kill yourself on Sunday when you're trying to recover before you go back to work again.
It's
our binge drinking culture is goddamn awful, and I'm pretty sure we are the laughing stock of the rest of Europe for it. I'm pretty sure they have some joke at our expense for it.
It's the only... Last time I went out to a Wetherspoons and I got a picture, they've just given up asking how many glasses you want with it. They just put... The last time I was there, it wasn't like I was a regular or that I'd been to that Wetherspoons before and they knew me that I was going to have a picture to myself. I was just being economical, but they literally just put 2 straws in the jug automatically. They've just got to that stage where they go, no one's ordering a picture to share. It's £7 for a picture. They're buying it for themselves. They don't have to come up to the bar 6 times. Like, that shouldn't be just assumed.
They were designed for.
No, they were designed for sharing a picture of cocktails or beer.
Fair enough. The last time I went to Wetherspoons and ordered a picture, the barman made someone else pay for it.
Oh, nice.
I was dead happy with that. It was work Christmas Eve. Me and Matt walked up, we're like, we had a picture of Woo Woo. And they were like, yeah, right, no worries, gave it to us. We stood there for ages and ages and ages, waiting to pay, and we reckon he tacked it onto someone else's bill that we're standing next to. So we just walked off.
And how many glasses did you ask for?
We didn't get any glasses.
See?
This picture, and then serves other people.
There we go. And also, fish bowls are just a normal thing. When I started at university, they were a thing that people did at home. Now places sell them. Like, what would you like? I'll have a gallon of alcohol, please. Well, that's enough about our relationship with alcohol, I guess, but I'm pretty sure we speak on behalf of the country. They've been John, and I'm going to go and get a drink. See you next week.
Toodle pip.
Ta-ra.
I think the best instrument is, that cylindrical thing that has loads of metal beads on it that you just spin round. That's the best instrument.
Nothing, eat something. We want some money to it.